Hey guys, this is Jeff with WarriorTrading.com here on a very lonely Friday night. I'm just kidding. Going to build out my watch list because I'm taking off tomorrow, headed out of town. So going to do this tonight, not Sunday, and we'll be ready to go for next week. Let me see if we find out where I'm at here. Closed out our trade today on LinkedIn finally. Got the resolution we were looking for. We were in a 115, 120 call spread. So we got long at 115. Our break even was like 116, 116 and some change. We were in this for a little over a week. Took a while to get resolution, but we were finally able to get out for about 70% profit when we started hitting the 122s here. I do like this higher. I do think it probably needs to chill out for a bit and consolidate before another leg up. However, I would look to this for possible move into the gap. Once it gets over 130, this thing has a lot of potential. So not sure where it's going to end up in the middle here somewhere, but at this rate, if it keeps going, it's going to have a pretty nice recovery, probably back to the 160s or so. Other than that, let's see, we're going to take a look at some ideas for tomorrow. I guess another trade I can tell you about we got in here was on Tyson. I've been watching this one forever. Tyson Foods coming up off of earnings, big gap up here, strong stock, had a dividend today. Waiting for a first candle to make some new lows here. We haven't seen new lows to speak of really. Any kind of sustained move to the downside for quite a while. This thing is just ridiculous move up here from the lows back in mid-January to the high, all-time highs, or 52-week highs yesterday. It was almost a 40% move, 38%. So in a matter of less than a month, that's ridiculous. This thing is definitely extended to the upside. I don't care how strong it is, how strong the market is. It is going to take a breather. So we had to wait for an opportunity to get into this stock so that we can capitalize on the breather, the retracement. Basically, we were looking for an entry under new lows here. We got an early entry. I took a very small starter, just 1,000 shares here up top at 65.91. Once we kind of broke down under the $66 area, we failed to make new highs and then came down. We added to our short position at 65.20, and this thing closed at 65.17. So holding a pretty big size here. We got a couple thousand shares, but we're looking for the move down to 62 bucks. $62 gives us about a little over 3 points in profit if we can get there. And I think that if the market pulls back, and even if it doesn't, we could see a pretty accelerated drop from all these people looking to take profits over the last couple weeks, and other shorts like me who are watching this opportunity. You can see down here in the volume, we've had declining volume for the past couple weeks now, and we have spikes on these big days. But for the most part, the volume has been declining. So that's what we want to see. We're not seeing a surge of buyers come in any longer. We are now seeing, an opportunity for some sellers and some selling. So that's where we're at. It's our newest position. We're still holding Verizon vertical, flat on that. Our VXX, we're down. Let's see, what's our cost basis on this? Cost basis on VXX, it's a vertical there, is 60 cents, and we're down. It's trading at 40 cents, so we're down 20 cents on that right now as the market is trading here, at the highs. Now, everybody keeps asking me what I think the market's going to do. I think the market is going to, it's drifting higher. It's clearly broken resistance. But it's selling off on higher volume than the buyers are breaking it out at. So it's very interesting conditions. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know whether it's going to go higher, whether it's going to go lower. So what I tell people, and it's always the same kind of process, is build a watch list for yourself every day that gives you good long opportunities and good short opportunities, and then you're ready to go whichever way the market moves. Keep a portfolio that's delta neutral as much as possible. Don't be too long bias or too short bias, because in this market we are trading sideways. Believe it or not, the range is massive between 213 and 180 here. Basically the highs and the lows of the entire past year and a half. make up this huge trading range. So there's many trends within this massive range, right? We have a big uptrend here. We just came off a big downtrend, and now we could start another big uptrend. So overall, we're definitely trading sideways, but in much more micro time frame, we can still trend. So we're trending higher right now, but we are not doing so in great big volume, which tells me that big money hasn't moved out of the sidelines yet. You know, when we start seeing money come out of equities, treasuries, or excuse me, come out of treasuries and bonds, we'll see them pour into equities. And we'll see a lot more volume here in the indices. But as of right now, like I said, it's just everybody's kind of watching this level because it is a very sensitive spot. And if there is a true lack of confidence and this thing comes down, it's going to come down pretty hard. And that's where our VXX vertical will look to pay. We're also in an IBB vertical. We're down a couple $100 on that one, but we're looking for a much bigger win. These are April expirations. Our Goodyear tire, and that's up for us a few $100. Like I said, we closed out LinkedIn today. I think that was a $1,400 winner. So overall, it was a good week. We closed out COP. That was about $1,500. I'm trying to remember what other trades. MSIC, we caught 2 points on that swing short overnight. Been a very good week. You know, January and February, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx myself, but I have had one of the greatest starts of any year in a long, long time. Trading out of 27 trades, I think I've only lost on 6 of them, 5 or 6 of them. So that's for my standards, it's pretty good. You know, I could trade 50. I could trade at a 50% win-loss rate, but because of good risk management, I'm able to remain profitable. Right, we're seeking trades with 2-to-1 returns and you know, or better, and so we can lose more than we win and still be profitable if you have good risk management. It's very easy to do. But in this market, you know, I found that being neutral and capitalizing on opportunities short term, and you know, selling premium and options has really been very helpful. So you know, my students know a little bit about that. One of the things that I get asked a lot from them lately is about doing another options course or doing a more in-depth options course. Yes, I do plan on doing a more in-depth options course. Previously, I kept it pretty simple with covered calls and some strangles and you know, some more risky news plays using options. But because of, like I said, the market conditions, I've had to adapt. And you know, I've started putting on some spreads and some. I've always done a little bit longer term plays in my own portfolio, iron condors, things like that. I'll start bringing those to our members. The problem is that it's very complicated, and every time I alert one, I get about 3,000 questions on the ins and outs of it. So, in an attempt to mitigate some of that hassle for everybody, I'm going to put together a new course or update the current course so that we have better information. Anyways, other than that, I'm going to get through this watch list here. If you guys have any questions, I can see them in the message window below here. So feel free to type them out there, and I'll see if make sure I get to them before I finish up. All right, so looking at the scans, we do the same process every single week. We definitely want to be consistent in how we do things. We're looking for, on the long scanner here at the top left, looking for strong stocks for a strong market. So we're looking for strong bullish setups if the market is strong, and then we'll look for some weak stocks so that if the market is weak, we'll have good short opportunities. Okay, so we'll look for a couple names of each, and that's how we'll build our watch list. We'll look only for the highest probability setups, and we'll do a quick due diligence analysis on everything, and hopefully this won't take too long. So ADRO, traded this a lot before. This is obviously putting in a nice little top here. I would say IVB is, I'm short IVB overall, but ADRO could be a potential contender here. Could put in a nice move. I don't know when their next earnings is. I just want to look real quick, make sure I'm not wasting my time. So, okay. Let me come over here. Let's see. Okay, their earnings aren't until March 27th. So, this massive sell-off here, right, along with everything else in the world for the first part of the year, first month of January, everything sold off and put in a low here at just under 11, just under $12, $11.94, and a little bit of a recovery now. We're trading sideways just under this 20 EMA. This high is 1540, and then we have another kind of high back here, 1560 and 1610. So the 20 EMA is trading at 1543. The high today was 1530. High of this whole flag here is at 1540. So what I would like to see on this is actually a relatively decent setup here. I'd like to see long. I'd like to see this for a long over 1540, 1550 area. The first target is going to be this pretty obvious little spike here that we had back in February. And that should get us to about 1610 or so. That'll be the first target. You can also see it was a resistance spot from back here in August of 2015 when the market had that sharp spike down, August 24th. And our next target will be pretty clearly right up and through here, probably the 1750 to $18 range, somewhere between the low period down here and the support area is double bottom right in here. That's what we would look for on this. It is trading with 314,000 shares, so it is liquid enough. I do filter for a minimum 5-day volume of at least 150,000 shares, but I also have high relative volume criteria as well. So this has an ATR of $1.12, so I think that we could probably get close to 17 bucks on the day of entry here. That'll depend on market cooperation, but overall I do like this setup. So what I'll say here is I manually input this into the watch list for my members. I'm going to say a nice recovery in a biotech with room to 1760, 18 bucks. Definitely a breakout candidate over 1540 to 1550. Stop will be $15 on this one. First target and potential add spot will be 1610. Now the whole point of adding into strength is so that we can increase our position size and maintain a lower average. If the trade starts trending in our favor, we want to scale into strength and then scale out into that strength. So we'll look to get a little bit heavier, but not until the trade has firmly established a trend in our favor. So EDRO will be on watch for us. That'll be one of the names we're looking at. First name off the scanner, so a good start already. SSYS. This company has had a pretty rough patch last year or so, coming off of $130 all the way down to $18. It is too prone to bad news, and I don't particularly care for this name. We're not trading oil and gas because we're already long oil through USO. Okay, REITs, real estate investment trust, those are always hot names when the market is stable. They're always fairly reliable. These patterns are pretty clean. One thing about REITs, though, is that they never really move that much. RAS here, it's not a bad look. Over to 67 or so, but it's only got a 14-cent ATR, which means it doesn't move very much. You know, I don't want to hold something with 100,000 shares, you know, to make money on a 10-cent move, and I don't want to hold something for a week in these market conditions to make more than 10 cents. So for me right now, these lower ATR stocks are just not ideal, and so I will pass on that. Not a horrid setup though. Whoa. Excuse me. lot of oil and gas names, not unexpected. A lot of banks, financials, REITs again. Okay, Sears Holding. Sears is another one of those companies that has just not been healthy in the past year or so. 2 years here, 2 years ago. What the hell? Well, apparently my Siri thought I was talking. Sears Holding is coming off a $50 area. It's all the way down to 18. It is making an attempt here for the first time in a very long time to trade above the 50 moving average. Why is this important? Well, because crossovers of moving averages can signal trend reversals, especially when it's done on high volume. What I like about this here is we have a long period of relatively low volume. And then we have some big volume spikes when this thing puts in big moves. And then we have this steady increase in relative volume over a few days here. That tells me that the buyers are coming in, pushing it through these levels, knocking it out. Right here, you got this big flag pattern, and then now we're breaking the top of the flag just barely, and that happens to be where the 50 is. So here's a couple things to know. One, every other time this thing has attempted to break out over the 50, it's failed. Ever since... Realistically, ever since September 2015, August 2015. That's really the last time this made a meaningful move over the 50. So let me check out. It's also a pretty big float, so it's a slower mover. It is coming off of earnings now, so that's a catalyst that we want to know about. That's a good sign. If the earnings were better than expected, even though it was a miss, they might have guided up. I haven't read the earnings report, but the point is that there's opportunity here to capitalize on the momentum coming off of earnings, especially as shorts are going to start looking to cover as we start blowing through these long time areas of resistance. So this one is a probable long over the high of today's 1846, so we'll say 1850. We'll look at scaling into this. We'll look at the next area of resistance is going to be based on previous support. Pretty clearly at 1905, $19 area, right? Because it was support back here, double tap back here, right? Bam, bam, tap that support line 2 days in a row. So, like I always say, if you watch any of my videos, you hear me say it over and over again, previous support becomes future resistance. So previous support from August 2015, previous support from December 2015, from December 2015, from January 2016, all this previous support will become resistance at 19 bucks. So if we get over 1850, I'm going to add on the other side of this 1905 area. Once we get through, we'll probably see some more shorts start to cover there. Looking for a looking for a move potentially up to about 20 bucks. That's going to be kind of our next little area of resistance. And this only has a $1.16 ATR, so it's not really a big mover, but it is capable of big moves. But on a regular basis, it's not. So if we see a good short squeeze, we'll definitely see a nice run here to 19 bucks, which is only going to be 50 cents from our entry. We'll add over 19 for the move to 20, and then ultimately probably right around 21, because you can see again, it's another support area here, another support area here, here. It acted as resistance through here. So 20, 94, 21. So we'll say on this one, SHLD. What the fuck? We'll put a on swing watch. On swing watch for return to bullish territory if the crossover of the 50 EMA can hold up. Room is to 21, long entry is over 1850, add spot over 1905, stop will be 19 even initially. They'll give us about a 1975 average, so we'll risk 75 cents to make about $1.25. So a little less than 2 to 1 on this particular trade. But I'm expecting this to be a fairly high probability for a quick resolution. So it's not something I'm looking to get a return on over a long period of time. I'm going to put a little bit of capital into this. I'm going to hold it for a day or two overnight. and I'm going to look to sell it the next day. I don't want to be stuck holding this, if the market starts doing some crazy stuff. So I think this is a high probability for quick profits. So even though it's not the ideal risk reward, I think it's worth the risk because the setup is there. You have this very potential for a very bullish setup if it can hold up over the 50. So like I said, it'll be the first time since back here in early September or late August when this thing traded at these levels. Before that, it hadn't done so since nearly 2014 or early 2015. So that will be our second item on long swing watch. So as I'm going to flip through, I want to flip through here and I want to find some more names. A lot of these stocks, because of the market conditions, are trading below their moving averages. Everything's in a a very bearish pattern right now. So it's hard to find something that looks like a good bullish long setup because everything is so biased to the downside. So we have to find those stocks that we can anticipate the move up from, should market conditions pan out. Or play out, the ones that are most poised to continue. So you can see here on Yelp, this thing hit new lows, right? Everything with the market sold off, lost 50% of its market capitalization, put in a sharp recovery, came back up to this 20 moving average where it kind of traded sideways for a little bit. A lot of churn here before the bears and the bulls decided that the bulls were going to take it a little bit higher. So the next stop will probably be up in this 21 area. Not really enough room for a trade to justify a trade, but just a good way or a good opportunity to point out how this is a bullish setup right here. Made a move up, rejected the lows, made a move up with the market here, and it traded anywhere over this high of this range, over the 1912 area. It would have been a good long opportunity. And I think if you got in there, you'd be pretty happy right now. You're up 70 cents with room. Pretty clear room back to 21 bucks or so. But finding those setups as they're about to happen, that's the key, and that's where the combination of scanners and all the other tools that we use come into play, along with good chart reading. Okay, so here's an interesting one. I tell you right now, go to some of these lines. Obviously this thing I was looking at some point previous in time when it was at much higher levels, but what isn't? Again, the market has been selling off since last year, and everything is going to tend to move with it, right? Stocks are going to move in the direction of the broader market unless there's a catalyst propelling them the other way. So we make new lows here, all-time lows in February, end of January, nice recovery. Now we're putting this little top here under, really it says 1280 there, but we'll average it down to right about there, probably about 1270 or so. You can see that 1270 was a top back here at the end of December, right before Christmas. It was a resistance, and then it's a resistance here mid-February, and now it's acting as a resistance here. We keep tapping this area. So what's going to happen is these moving averages are going to move up, and they're acting as support right now. You see how everything is holding. The 20 and the 50 are starting to cross here. What we're getting is this potential as we're tapping this top. We're getting this potential for a breakout or a breakdown. This is more of a bullish setup than it is a bearish setup, but the opportunity for a sharp move in either direction is here, and that's what we like to see. So this is a very liquid stock with 2.2 million shares trading. You can take a little bit bigger size, and it's only got a 91 cent ATR, so we can take size, and we know that we're probably not dealing with a massive range. What I like about this here is that we have room to 1362, 1360 area. Let's see, where's our next stop going to be? Roughly through here somewhere to 1460. Interesting. So we have room roughly to 1360, then 1460, more or less, right? Because this little resistance top here, it's a top right through here. That's going to be our ultimate range. I don't usually go out more than 2 or 3 they're not really deviations, but 2 or 3 targets, because I don't plan on holding the trade long enough to get there. Based on the ATR, if you assume it was 90 cents a day, it'll take 2 or 3 days to get here realistically. And I'm not interested in holding things much longer in this market, like I said. So I only need to go out 2 or 3. I mean, you can keep finding resistance areas, which are going to be your target. You got another one right here at 1610. You know, potentially another one here. You know, and you can draw another one up here. You can keep going all the way up, and that's where you're going to find these little points of resistance along the way. But we're looking to make money in between the first couple. So let me check on the fundamentals here. Again, we want to make sure we're not bumping in to earnings. All right, this one doesn't have earnings till April. So what I do like about this here, again, is the setup. We have this top here that's been tapping. Over I think over 1250 would be a starter position. I'm willing to hold this with a little bit more room on half size. I can give it a 50-cent stop because I'll scale in once we move over 1270, the 1270 area here, because that's going to be the big spot. But I don't want to wait till 1270 to get into this trade, because then it doesn't give me enough room for profit, because this thing stopped at 1232. So that means I have to wait. If I get in over the resistance area and it's at 1232, I have to wait until it moves 40 cents up, then buy in. And then, because the ATR is only 91 cents, it's only going to move another 50, you know, to get the ATR, to get the average, you know, average for the day. So not a great entry strategy. Instead, what I'd rather do is maybe be a little bit more speculative. I'm going to take more risk. I'm going to bet that we're going to see, because this is a bullish setup, and if the market is bullish and the conditions are right and the relative volume is high, I'm going to bet that we're going to see a you know, a move over 1250. I'll get long with a starter position. I'll add over 1275, over 1280, something like that, and look to sell through 1350, 1362. So I'm going to take smaller size because I'm increasing my risk. So if I was super conservative, I would take much more size, but my risk is going to be smaller, and therefore my reward would be smaller. So it's all relative. You have to manage your risk. So that's why we're going to take a starter over 1250, add 1275, room to 1360, then 1460. Okay, so this is ATI on watch for breakout over the top at 1275. Long will be over. I'm gonna say this. Long starter will be over 1270, 1250. Add spot 1275, 1280, somewhere in there. Stop will be $12 initially. Of course, I never usually use stops that wide. More often than not, 90% of the time I use low of day as my stop. So I'll wait for the open range to be established, and once I get into this trade, whatever low of day was during the open range, since I want a breakout trade, I want something that's moving away from low of day, I'll put my stop at low of day. If it comes against me, takes me out at low of day, I'll be out of the trade for a loss rather than $12. Stop will be $12 initially. First target will be 1360, and then we'll say 1460. Again, not to the dollar, folks, not to the zero, not to the, you know, not to the exact number. We're just looking for the general area. I'm going to take profits on the way. Every 3 to 5% I'm scaling out. So if I get a 50-cent move, I'll probably take some profits, you know, 60 cents, whatever. That's right around 3-4%. So keep that in mind. That's just our target for the stock to move to, but we're paying ourselves along the way, scaling out, and we'll scale back in on any pullbacks. Okay, so that's 3 names we got on long watch. I'm going to start flipping through some short potentials here. I do have a few big runners that I wanted to look at that are similar to TSN. Let's start with those. PayC is off of my reversal scan, my swing trade reversal scan. This is through Trade Ideas. Just out of, if anybody is interested, all of the swing students that I have get my scanners for free. They get my TC2000 long and short scans. They also get my Trade Ideas. There's probably a total of about 15 different scans for different market conditions. This one happens to be my swing reversal scan. So we'll look through some of these names here. PayC, this is very similar to TSN, right? We're in TSN right now. Big, long run up. We're just waiting for the retracement. We're not getting in prematurely, but we are definitely stocking this because nothing goes straight up and nothing goes straight down in the stock market. It's like the stairs. This is a very high probability trade if you understand how to time it right. And so we do have this move up here. It is not ready for a short at this time. Just based on looking at the setup, there's no clear identifiable space where I would look to jump in yet. There's going to be some more resistance though coming up here, 32.89. So this is one we'd have to watch during the middle of the day or during open range. Find out if it's going to make lows instead of highs. What are the market conditions? We're also looking for room to the nearest target. In this case, it'd probably be right around $29 down to possibly $28.40. Right, it's the support area from back here. This is a pretty big mover, so it can get there in a hurry. It's got a $2 ATR. Not the best setup ever, but it's going to stay on the watch list, on the master watch list, until it does give us some sort of reversal opportunity here. Edit was another one. This is a recent, oh my, this is a recent IPO. This thing has run up here from, let's see, the low, this pivot to the high, 133% in a matter of about a month, a week, 2 weeks, about 2 weeks. So 133% move in 2 weeks, that's pretty impressive. We would look for a potential, let's see here. We get this doji here. This is a kind of interesting setup. We do have this, so we're already short in the IVB, which is the NASDAQ sector ETF for biotechs. But this is an interesting opportunity to kind of add on to that, especially for a day trade here. This thing looks like a pretty wild mover. It's a $2.50 ATR, and this thing closed as kind of a fat, chunky, fat doji here. Basically, the buyers didn't have enough strength to hold it up anywhere near the 29.40 highs, and so there's some indecision here. Might be an interesting short entry under. What is this area here? Under 25.27. Add to it under 24.60. So the problem is that this thing is just such a massive candle, right? This is a $5 candle. Yeah, it's $5.08 candle. So that's a really big candle. It's really hard to manage because intraday it can put in these $2, $3 swings, and you think you're going in the right direction, and it kind of pulls the rug out from under you. And heads back up. So interesting setup here. Again, another one I'll keep on the master watch. And we'll check out CATM. This should be another runner here. This is a much better setup now. Let me zoom out here. Okay, so we have again $28 to a high of $34, and this is a 20% move in just a couple weeks. So it's extended to the upside. Look at the consecutive green days in the row on this thing. We close it again, another doji here. Excuse me, a spinning top. We have hit the 200 EMA, failed that. I'm guessing there's going to be some resistance at that level. Also, yeah, from back in here and from back over here. So this level obviously was a bit of a struggle for it to get through. It was a good area to short off of. Looking for potentially an entry on this one as a pullback candidate, reversal candidate here. Yep, that's going to be it. This is going to be a support level 33.67. Is going to be really close to where we're at right now, actually. So this might be one to watch. We'll just give it till the $0.50 or so. Dollar ATR, only 345,000 in volume, but you have room here down to 30. Definitely have room down to $32. If you get short 33.50, it's a 1.5. This would be a really good day trade. Something that I'll probably keep on watch for a day trade opportunity. If it's something crazy and we get a pullback down to this 20 EMA down to $31, I'll hold a piece of it overnight. Maybe we get a bigger move to the downside if it accelerates the sell-off. But this is one that I want to keep on watch for a potential short. So we'll say CATM on short, watch for a reversal after a 20% run in just a few weeks. A short entry will be under 33.50 or near 34.11. We'll say 34.11 highs if we test that area. So what'll happen is we might have a better opportunity for entry if this thing wants to open up, run, and test this resistance spot again, but because the market's weak or whatever and it fails, this would be a great spot to get an early entry. We add down here and then we sell through the move back to 32, 31.50. So let's see here. Stop will be 34.11 on this one, because that's going to be the high of the range, and we're going to say target is 32, and then we have dang it. Yeah. $32 and then 31.60 or so. Just roughly, because remember, we're going to be scaling out on this move anyways. So that is CATM. Okay, VTR was one last I wanted to look at here. Again, this is another one, right? Ridiculous move up from the lows of 46.87 all the way to the high of 55.99 for a 20% move in just a couple of weeks. Again, same similar setup here. Very bullish return to the top. Oh, hang on. One other thing I wanted to check here. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. We have this test of the 200 EMA, a fail. It sells off here, right? And then now we're trading just above the $55 area. This signals to me an interesting point of entry. If you take a look at the $55 area today, support low was $54.99, so right at 55 bucks. That will be an entry opportunity for us. We're looking for candle under candle to confirm that a new trend direction has been established, right? We have candle over candle. We don't have any new lows being made. All these are new highs being made. Not a new low being made since the low of this entire move. So this is a really strong chart here. So I would think that the first time we get a new daily candle making a low, it could trigger a little bit of a sell-off retracement here, which is really all we're looking to capture in this move. So where's the range on this trade? We got to find logical support areas. I can tell you right now, I see some right here at 54 bucks. That would be a logical add spot. Now this thing does have a $2 ATR, so it should get through fairly easily. And if it does, we'll see room probably down to the 50 right here. Then maybe even 53.50. It's going to be this double bottom through here. So you can see where the chart's not really clean for determining these areas, but we do know we have a clean entry under 55. We have a target area of 54, and then 53.50 area, and we might run into. I would probably bank on it running at least the ATR and holding up near. Holding up at least near these moving averages at the end of day one. So VTR we can put on watch here, and we just double check that there's nothing. Okay, so they got some downgrades. And upgrades coming off of earnings. So pretty stiff, pretty strong earnings run, but it's one of those where it's definitely extended to the upside. So we will word this here. Let's see. Put this on my watch list. Say VTR. Another big 20% post earnings runner. A great. So we could put a clean chart for a candle under candle entry at 54.99. Stop will be well, let's see if our target here is going to be 59.50, or excuse me, 53.50. Put our stop at 55.75 for now. But again, remember it's going to be the high of the open range. But for sizing purposes, we'll use 55.75. So stop at 55.75. First target and possible add spot at 54 even. Then next target at 53.50. Okay. That takes care of that one here. All right, that takes care of the reversal scans I already looked through earlier. So looking through the short scans, again, we're looking for weak stocks in a weak market, on a weak market day that we can short. This one has already put in a pretty big move to the downside. It's very extended, and you can see it's going to hit support or resistance rather soon. So probably stay away from this one. A lot of utilities here. Some Foot Locker. Okay. Okay, so Foot Locker's testing a big support area here at 20.63, right there, about 63 bucks. Right, it's a very critical area. It was support, excuse me, it was resistance back in here. Was support over here, support right here. It was a pivot right here and support in here. So now we're looking at definite potential breakdown under this area, and if it gets through, you know, where's our next likely target here? I see next support area around 61.30 or so, back here in June of 2015. You know, if it gets really aggressive, maybe we see a sell-off down to 60 bucks, even lower potentially to this double bottom, 59 bucks. $2 ATR, so it would take a couple days to get there. It wouldn't happen all in one day. Let's just check on the fundamentals here. Make sure we're not bumping up against earnings. Uh-oh. I don't see any data on that. Next earnings are 225, so it was yesterday. What? Did it have earnings yesterday? Let's pull it up. Foot Locker reported earnings $1.16 per share, 4% higher than street consensus. Revenue of $2 billion came in line with estimates, and this was reported today. So they postponed it to today. So earnings were today. I need to look at what their after-hours action looks like. For whatever reason, I cannot pull that up. That's high quality shit. Well, after hours, it doesn't look like it moved much, so this was obviously reported before the bell anyways. Just wanted to make sure there weren't any downgrades we didn't know about. Okay, so this is potential here for short. Definitely the target spot is $63. That's where we want to hammer this thing at, but we don't want to wait till then to get in because that's over a point from where we're at now. So looking for the entry here under the low of today. We want that candle under candle. We have the first crossover under cross under and close below all the moving averages. We want this under 63.75. Okay, that's going to be our entry. We'll add at $63. Our target will be $61.30. So that's the setup on this one. Whoops. So we can say Foot Locker following uneventful earnings. This has room to fall if support at 63 caves. Now again, this isn't something that I would look to just short to short. This is something that I would look to short when the market is weak, because this is a weak setup. So following uneventful earnings, this has room to fall if support at 63 caves. Entry will be under 63.75. Stop will be 64.50. We'll add under 63 with the target of 61.30. Okay, so just because it's on the watch list, it might trigger, but if the market is moving higher, if the market is gapping up, whatever, it doesn't mean I'm going to take a short position. So it may sell off and then move back up and make new highs. I don't know. I just know that I don't really want to fight market conditions to be in the trade so bad. That's why we have our long bias setup. So we'll make sure we stay out of the way of that. So this is our watch list for Monday. We have ADRO, SHLD, ATI, all to the long side. And then we have CATM, VTR, and FL all to the short side. If you guys have any questions, you can email me, jeff@warriortrading.com. And if you need anything else right now, I'm going to leave the stream open for a few minutes, and then I'm going to shut it down. So everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you all next week.